All right, Daniel, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Well, I'm doing all right, buddy. So first of all, man, I'm glad to be here. I was cold calling myself because I didn't have the money to actually hire someone else. And I was talking to the guy for a while, and he
Daniel,
said,
what
"Hey,
what list were you cold calling? Were you just cold calling random people on Zillow, or did you have a
ah,
specific
no, no,
list?
I never do on market thing, only off market. And it was the Tired Landlords. I got it from like prop stream, like the same, no more, nothing special on that list.
The funny thing is, Daniel, do you remember when you were brand new and you were like, wait, okay, who are we? Wait, hold on. Who are you cold calling? Like, where are you getting this list? I would say that that would be the top 5 questions I get on a daily basis is like, where did the lead come from? What most people think of in like the real estate agent world, right? We all are very aware of what real estate agents do and what they bring to the table, and they're amazing and all that. But people are kind of brainwashed to think that that's where deals come from. Personally, I think that there's a lot of deals on market, a lot of deals, but I prefer off market. And I prefer to be in control of my contract. I prefer to be in control of the conversation I have with the seller. So what you're saying, Daniel, is you went on a prop stream, which is a software, or a lot of people use batch leads or what have you. I actually use both in our business. And you went on there to a tired landlord list. So you found a list that PropStream, using public data, basically figured out that these people were probably really tired of being a landlord. You buy this list, you spend probably a couple $100, and that list basically comes with phone numbers and information. You manually cold call. You didn't hire a VA because you didn't have the money. So you started using probably a triple line dialer on Mojo.
100%. So that was a triple line dialer, and that was my CRM at the beginning because I didn't have the funds to buy something fancy. So that's what I was doing. So I was just talking to the guy, and he said the property is already sold, so don't you call me anymore. And I was like, okay, fine, but you guys always say, you should always contact the seller if it's not over yet.
So you're calling, you get a hold of a landlord, you ask him about his property. He says, "Stop calling me. I already sold it."
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's actually done. The transaction wasn't done. He was in contract with somebody else. So somebody else had called him, he had sold the property, or you're saying he put it on the market for a for sale by owner and he just put the property online himself. Is that correct?
So he put the property online for sale by owner, and then someone got it under paper. Like that the property was in Pittsburgh. There was a buyer from New York that wanted to buy the property for the asking price. So he said, "Don't you ever call me again? We'll have a closing date that should be at like the end of the month or something." And I was like, "Totally okay. I understand. Is that okay if I just follow up and touch base, to see if it's a done deal?" Sometimes people just, they cancel before closing. And he was like, "Yeah, go for it. I don't mind." So I was calling like a day before closing, and he was like, "It's funny that you called because the guy from New York actually canceled the agreement like the day before you called."
This is,
And
guys, this is some of the greatest advice we give all the time. And Daniel followed it to a T. You're going to get people a little bit hostile. They're going to be like, "Don't call me again. Stop calling me. Stop bothering me." And you're going to have this self-conscious reaction to that human being rude and strong to you. And you're going to go, "Oh man, this doesn't work." Meanwhile, we give you guys advice. That deal is not done. This is what I've learned from owning title companies is off-market deals. About 70, maybe 80% of them at most are getting closed. Okay. And they fall apart a lot of times, 20 to 30% of times they fall apart for a multitude of reasons. The buyer finds a different house, wants to change his mind. Buyer's financing doesn't work out. Maybe the buyer just changed his mind, doesn't want to buy a house at all. And there's other things like liens and challenges that pop up. So Daniel was very polite, didn't let this seller phase him. And the seller's like, "Don't call me. It's already sold." Daniel says, "Well, would you mind if I followed up with you just in case?" And the seller goes, "Yeah, sure, fine. Do whatever you want." So how many days did you wait? Did you wait like 3 days, 2 weeks? What did you wait?
I was waiting like a day before closing. So I just want to give him a call and say, "Hey, I know you guys should close tomorrow. Is it a done deal?" And then when I called, the seller was like, "Yeah, it's actually," he backed me. He canceled the deal like 2 days before he called. And I'm stuck with the house right now. And I was asking about purchase price and everything. And he said, the buyer, he agreed to purchase the house for, I think it was $100,000 or something like that. Houses in Pittsburgh are not like in Arizona, but it was $100,000 and it was occupied by a tenant for $950 a month. Actually, it was already occupied. So $950 a month, the house was occupied for $100,000. All of the offers he got from cash buyers were around 60, 65-ish, and he wanted to get $100,000. And he was from Seattle. So I said, "Man, if I could come up to your numbers, would you be willing to give me terms?" And he was like, "What do you mean by terms?"
This is the line that I created because nobody taught me how to convert a seller from cash to creative, right? And so that's that line that I teach people is like, if I could come up to your number, would you be willing to give me terms? And you know the seller's going to say, what are terms? Dude, so you use the line. That's how you switch him over from cash to creative. And he says, what are terms? How did you explain terms to him?
So I said, I do have a friend. His name is Pace. He actually tried to sell a truck online.
How did it work?
It was awesome. It was like, yeah, man, that sounds fair to me. And he was like, yeah, you're talking about getting payments over time. He was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm cool with that. And so that was it. Like after I said, you know, I do have a friend. His name is Pace. He's a great guy. He was actually trying to sell his truck online, but the value was only $5,000. He wanted to get 10. So tried to get it sold online. Nobody called for 3 months. So he came back home and his wife said, why don't you just say, I accept payments. So he changed that one sentence over there and he sold the truck for $12,000 instead of 5. So I'm not saying that I can, but if I could come up to your numbers, would you be willing to give me the same terms that Pace done over there? And he was like, yeah, I'm cool with that.
Amazing. So what did you buy it for? And did he ask for a down payment? It sounds like you bought this on seller finance.
Yeah, so it was free and clear. Actually, the seller was from Seattle, the house in Pittsburgh. It was already occupied for $950. And I was like, listen, man, if I'll buy cash, I'm not your buyer. I'm probably going to be at a 50, 60-ish. But if you want to get $100,000 for it, what if I could come with like 10 grand up front and just give me a monthly payment of $250 a month? So I can come up to your numbers over like 240 payments and then balloon you out. Then I didn't say balloon, but I was just talking about payments and everything. And at the beginning, he said, no, we might do something else. I was like, okay, man, that's okay. But that's probably where I'm going to be. And then he said, if you can give me I wanted to do like 30 years, without balloon. And he said, if you can do like $10,000 up front, you cover everything. You buy it as is with the tenants. I don't want to hear about the tenants anymore. And you give me $250 a month and cash me out after like 20 years. I'm cool with that because I want to retire in 20 years. And I was like, so you were saying that if we can do a 20-year balloon, that sounds like a fair deal for you? And he was like, yeah, that's okay with me.
Look, guys, here's the deal. So he sold it for $100,000. He asked Daniel to give him 10% down, which anybody know any investor loans that will let you do a 10% down loan? I don't. It sounds like this is an interest-free loan. Is this principal only?
Yeah.
So 0% interest, guys. 0% interest. So you gave him the number he wanted. Again, people are saying, where does the deal come from? Came from a tired landlord, right? There are lists that you can buy that tell you who is a tired landlord. This guy is such a tired landlord. He's like, Daniel, I'll sell it to you, but I don't want to hear about the tenant ever again. I'm tired of being a landlord. Do you guys know where tired landlords come from? It comes from people's inability to scale a real estate business. Okay. And what they do is they end up getting 5, 10, maybe upwards of 20 properties, and they manage all the properties themselves. So they're collecting the rents, they're picking up the phone, they're hiring the handyman because they're trying to save a management fee. And literally 90% of landlords manage their own properties themselves. And until maybe they can scale out and they decide, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to hire a property management company and I'm going to give away 10% of my revenue to somebody else to manage this, right? The people who don't get to that point where they can hire a property management company, they become inevitable. It's like almost a guarantee they will become a tired landlord and go, I'm done. I don't want to hear another thing about these people's baby mama drama. They're complaining about a drip in the sink, but it was them that clogged the sink and I'm done. I don't want to hear about it. So because Daniel gave him the number he wanted and gave him a down payment of 10%, you can't get 10% anywhere. Daniel, did he check your credit or like verify your job history or anything like that?
No, I don't have a credit in the US.
He doesn't even have credit in the US. So Daniel couldn't even have gone down to a bank to buy this. So he goes and gets this deal done on seller finance, 10% down, 0% interest. Here's what's great about this. When I say we are crowdsourcing our retirement, we just go, you know what? I don't want to worry about my retirement. I'm going to let my tenants, they're going to go to their jobs and they're going to go collect bits of money and they're going to put that into my retirement fund. That's what you did on this deal, bro. What a great deal. What a great structure. You've literally followed every instruction to the T, and you don't even have a social security number and you don't even have credit.
Yeah, nothing, man. I'm not a US citizen, nothing.
Interesting. I get a lot of people that DM me. I had a guy send me a DM yesterday. He says, you're such a scam artist. What would you say to somebody that says, Pace, you're a scam artist?
I'll send them love and empathy.
I usually just say hugs, man. Your mom obviously doesn't love you or didn't love you. Try not to mess with those people. It's amazing that when you're trying to change the world and do these things, you will meet resistance. And you met resistance twice on this deal. Okay. The first time you met resistance was the seller says the property was already sold. And instead of saying, oh, this doesn't work, you go, oh, let me follow instructions. I was told that that's actually a great lead. You stay on top of it. You were met with resistance. You kept on top of it. You followed up. Then the second time you were met with resistance was when the seller's like, I don't know what you're talking about with terms. And instead of you coming back to me and DMing me and going, hey, Pace, the seller says they don't understand terms, you took the instructions of just telling a story, and you told the story, and the seller goes, yeah, I'm down with that.
It's a good story.
You took over a tenant. You didn't have to pay for renovation. Is that tenant still in the property now?
So he's still there, actually. Still paying.
Amazing. And he's paying and everything's good.
Yeah, it's actually one of the best properties I own over there.
Wow, wow, wow. Is this better or worse than being in air traffic control?
Man, I mean, I never wanted to be an air traffic control. People, you know, they wanted you to go that road so you can get a great job, get a great, you know, salary, because they pay them a lot, actually. But that's tons of stress, and you never want to go that road. So I was like 21 when I left there, and then I started real estate. Now I'm 24, but it's way better. Like I prefer wholesaling and doing these things all day long.
Amazing. You don't, and the thing is, you don't even have to do a ton of these to change your life. You could do a couple of these a year. Is really all you really need to change your life dramatically. And then you get better and better and better at them. Oh my gosh, bro, you're 24 years old. I didn't even learn about this stuff till I was 30. You're 6 years ahead of me. That's amazing. Good for you, man. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you again, guys. You literally changed my life over there. All the guys in Arizona and all the great mentors over there. You guys, it's been a blessing just to know all of you guys through YouTube and through the mentorship.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. I appreciate you. What a great story. This is awesome. Thank you.